Good morning. It's a beautiful day here in Oregon and clear and sunny, and I think it's going to be fairly warm. So pretty good for the middle of February. I think we're going to get a lot done today. We're going to be working on getting the base for the sawmill put in and starting to put the sawmill together, and hopefully we'll make a lot of progress. Got a few things to work through, trying to figure out the height, and I guess we have a dog licking up some water here, so that's what we hear. So let's get going and have a fun day. We're trying to lay out the where the bunks are going to go and the log stops and the clamps so that we get the ties below here in the right place. We don't get them where it's going to impinge on something. So we've gone ahead and gone along and marked out where each one of the leveling feet will be. So marked that with a CL for center line. So we marked all those. And now we're going to go ahead and go through and figure out exactly where the bunk goes. And in this case, the first bunk is going to go right there where those two holes are. And then there's going to be a log stop on this side of it. So going to look something like that. So the problem that we're going to have here is that the log stop is going to hit our beam. So we are going to have to move that rail to the inside. Go ahead and lift that end of the bunk up, Jonah. Now it's got four holes in the bunk, but there's only two holes. So I'm wondering, so I guess maybe you just put it on one side or the other, I don't know. But the problem is that if we line that up there, this is going to hit the beam. So we're going to have to put this part of the rail over here, which means we'll have to spread these out. So I'm really glad that we didn't cut those rails too short. Okay, that's where we're at. Hi, Riley. What do you think, Riley? What do we got going here, huh? Come on, come here. What do you think about this? Going to help us with the sawmill? All right. Okay, so we've got the ties pretty well laid out. And got them placed so that they do not interfere with the bunks or the log stops. or the log clamps. So now what we need to do is go through and make sure that the gravel underneath each one of these ties is nice and level and tamped down really good so that everything is nice and level. Right now that beam is sitting nice and level, but these middle ties are a little bit low. So oh my goodness. Okay, since we don't have a beam, we only have one beam. The other beam was warped, and so we are getting a replacement for that beam. And so we can't assemble the track completely. So what we're going to do is start working on the saw head. So first step is to lay it down and put the front posts in. So these are M12 by 80 bolts that go through, have a washer on both sides. And a washer on both sides and a lock nut. I'm leaving them loose. It takes a little bit of doing to get that post laid down just right so that those carriage wheels, that carriage, whatever you call it, will fit on there, and you can get those bolts in there. And again, the bolts go from the inside to the outside, and I haven't taken that little thing off yet. I guess I'll take that off now. But we're doing this inside this trailer, and the trailer's not wide enough for it to be side to side. So we're doing it lengthwise, and then hopefully this will work out. Okay, so we've got the 2 bolts in on either side for the carriage track, carriage wheels, whatever you want to call them. And now we've stood it up. We lifted it up using the hose to lift it up. And there we go. Okay, so then these back posts go in, and one nut down there at the very bottom holds it in place for now, loose. And again, the bolt goes from the inside to the outside. So here's the the measuring stick connection. I guess that's what you call it. Let's see what the instructions say. Log scale mounting bracket. Okay, so that went on right there. And the tricky part of this is that this bolt right here is just a short one. Jeez, kitty. 35 millimeters. And so the bolt on this one, and it's going in from the outside in, the bolt on that one is down in there, so it doesn't go all the way through. Although there is a hole on the other side, but I don't know. And then this pulley is sort of tricky because it actually comes pre-assembled, and according to the instructions it sort of looks like you would do that on your own, but it's got a 12 millimeter spacer, a couple washers, and a nut on a 110 millimeter bolt. And it goes in here. There's the spacer inside there, and the bolt and washer on that side. That's a little bit hard to figure out for people like us. It wasn't recording. Okay, so there we go. We got the lift mechanism on. The two bolts that were left out went in here. This one is for the pulley. Got to be a little bit careful with the pulley because there's a spacer here and there's a spacer between the two pulleys, and you got to make sure that you don't lose that little spacer in there. And the 25 millimeter bolt right there, that was already attached to the lift mechanism, so we didn't have to go searching for that. Again, we will be putting the hour meter on later, and also the tank, lubrication tank goes up there. We can do that later. Hopefully we won't regret that. The battery, we don't have a battery, but we will be getting a battery. But one tip that's really a good thing to have is a metric measuring stick. Because when it tells you to go find an 80 millimeter bolt and you have absolutely no idea what an 80 millimeter bolt is, with this here, you can just measure a bolt, and if it comes up to that number 8, then that means 80 millimeters. As far as I know. Uh-oh. I always have these animals coming around. So there we go. Oh, another animal. Beautiful sunset tonight. Lots of cardboard and plastic sacks. Put this thing together. Hopefully the beam will come tomorrow that we need to finish up inside. And those end tables, we'll hopefully get rid of those. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and follow our adventure of putting the Woodland Mills 130 Max Sawmill together and starting to saw some logs. We're looking forward to that. So thank you for coming along with us on our little journey.